Hello, I'm Toycat, and I've been living in the United States recently, and a lot of people have looked at my setup here and said, wow, this is the epitome of the meme, men will live like this and not even know what's wrong, and I take offense to that, but let me show you around it anyway, because this is my beautiful green chair, and this is my beautiful green bed. I've stuck to a theme, it matches, I think that's great. This is ergonomic, this is a place to sleep. What more do you need? Why do people think there's something wrong with this? Allow me to go into and show you my apartment today, explain why I love it so much, but also explain why I'm living here to begin with, and also, I guess, maybe more crucially, I should go through the details of how much I pay to live here, and also what I'm doing in the United States to begin with, / Las Vegas. I like Las Vegas a lot, I think it's an interesting place, and let me show you around the apartment briefly, but just in case I clickbaited you with the title, how much do I spend to live here? The answer is my rent is $1,580 per calendar month. The answer as to how much I actually pay per month is a bit more complicated, because it's America, of course it is, so the actual details are a bit more than that in actual reality. You'll see why. But for now, let's give you a very brief tour, because this is obviously my setup. It's super nice. I've got everything you need. A lot of people would say that like the bed and the desk and the chair is enough, but I went a step further with the second monitor. I've got a painting above the bed. I really like that. I've got some random soundproofing foam that's on the wall here. Don't question why. The cow painting fell upside down, so I've actually got two paintings in here. But if you look over here, I've also got a third painting of birds. It's hanging on my electrical box right now, which I'm sure is perfectly fine. If you want to see the rest of the apartment, I've got a bathroom over here. It's got a sad shower tap. I've got a weird walk-in closet. I don't know, like, how many clothes would you have before you need to have a space like this? I don't quite understand it. And then if we look in the living room, a lot of people question why I have this cable. The answer is so that I can have the single console, in this case an Xbox, run both my TV and also my recording setup. Wow, that's genius. Then if we look outside, you can see I've got this lovely balcony. It's only on the second story, so I don't know if that's actually so useful, but I love looking out here. And if you look to the left, you can see the Las Vegas Strip, like, you know, some of the most built-up hotels in the world. And if you look to the right, you can see, what's that? Is this desert in the foreground, you know, palm trees and stuff? But behind that, you can see snowy mountains. I love this contrast of, well, you can see just about the fingers. I love this contrast. Wow, isn't this beautiful, my fingers? But I love this contrast of being able to see beautiful nature, be a 15-minute drive from that, but also being right next to super beautiful things. And then this is my kitchen. Let's maybe unzoom things. This is my kitchen, super nice. I've got one cooking appliance which does everything I need. It's called a Ninja. It does 32 different functions. Everything goes in here. It can't do toasting, so I've got my glorious toaster over here, costs $10, and this is my entire setup. I can show you around cupboards and be like, look, this is my mug cupboard, this is where I store my drinking implements, but I don't really have enough in there. I like that I made some personalized touches. I made the shelves have a slant to them, but I feel like most people aren't as in love with that as I am. And so yeah, let's explain fully what am I actually doing in here to begin with. Why do I have an apartment, and one that some people would call sad, but I would say is actually like my dream way of living. I thought I might be sad about it too. I considered renting furniture for this place, but actually I've been loving this place just the way it is. But the reason that I am here is because I've been living alone for the first time in 3 years. My then girlfriend moved in by accident during the pandemic, and we lived together for a long time, and then when we stopped living together, I've had lodgers in my place in the UK ever since. So I've got a woman who used to live in the former Soviet Union. There's lots of fun things about when she comes home and has things she needs to tell me, or crying about being old, or whatever it is that she's doing at a given point in time. It's a whole thing about like living in that particular case. However, if I show you around, you know, this place, living alone is great. I never have to worry someone's coming home, be like, oh no, what's gonna happen now? I never have to worry about like, oh, look at this, right? This is where I can, this is my, what do you even call this? My island. This is where I can write out like ideas or stuff I'm doing. I don't have to worry like, oh, if I leave the chairs like that, it might upset someone. If I leave my shoes on the floor, these are my raccoon slippers in the wrong place, that might be bad for someone. Living alone is great because you are the decider as to something that's worth your time and something that's not. Do you want to have a beautiful living room? You can have one if you want to, but if you just want to sit somewhere and watch TV in the evenings, that's great. There are 3 things I realistically need to do inside a place. I guess 4 if you count showering. You don't count showering, let's be honest. But, you know, the meme that, like, Toycat never washes his hair? You know what? I don't. What is this box with the water in? I don't understand. But, yeah, I only need a place to do, you know, like, call it work stuff, a place to sleep, and then I need a place to watch TV. I have all of those things, and I get this bonus kitchen, this bonus place to stuff. And let me show you the rest of this apartment, because you might think this is the entirety of the place. It's fairly small. It's a one bedroom. It's 600 something square feet. But let me show you why I love it here so much, and indeed why the rent is more complicated, because let's show you what's outside that door. It's very interesting, trust me. I actually came back here because I need to take off my raccoon slippers to show you the rest, because I totally forgot. That's the bit that I use every day. But in certain months of the year, there's even more fun amenities. But yeah, I'm going to turn off I've just left this thing recording the entire time I've been gone. Big problem. You know what else is a big problem? The amount I pay in rent, and the really great things that I get in return, like... Okay, I've put on my raccoon slippers, and I'm going to show you what is amazing about this place, besides I kind of like this like hotel lobby feeling thing to the hallways. But let me show you what's on the 7th floor, or the top floor, I guess you might say. Or, if you're in the UK, the 6th floor, because they use a different naming system here, where the ground floor is 1, and the 1st floor is 2, and the 3rd floor is whatever. See you on the 7th floor. It's fancy here, right? Look at that. There's a painting of some Greek dude on the wall here, some lovely chairs, and then there's 2 things I absolutely love here. Actually 3, let's say. On the right here is a gym. Having a gym inside of your place is so good for actually getting yourself to go there. Wait, do you want to see me? There's me. Seeing being able to have this inside of your own place is amazing. There's too many machines, more than I've ever seen in a built-in gym for a hotel or for a apartment. But then as well as that, look to the right here. What do you find? Wow, there's a pool table. Is it snooker? No, it's pool. There's a pool table. Oh, that's nice. There's some chairs. There's 2 TVs next to each other. Don't know why that's the case. There's this lovely set of things. And wow, is that a table to play? You know, very Vegas themed, right? And then what's this over here? Wow, shuffleboard too. I love all of the things that come along with this place. There's a communal kitchen. You ever wanted a communal kitchen in a place? I really cannot work out why you'd need a communal kitchen, because you're not meant to bring outside residents here. So is this just for... I've seen people, they've done events up here, I got a free B12 injection. I don't know why they're injecting vitamins into me, but they did it for free, gave me some juice with it. And then over here, wow, is that it's called the clubhouse, I think is what they call it. It's a fun word for it, right? But it's a giant TV. Sometimes if I just needed my own space, coming up here is a great way to do that. It's one of these so-free bed things. And again, it's that same it's not your responsibility. Owning a place is a whole thing. You gotta every part of that space is your upkeep. When you rent a place, you do, air quotes, throw money away every month, but you get this. They used to have swings there against the wall, but I think they must have broke or something, because now we got chairs instead. But look at this. Isn't this a fancy place? You can't have design this good in your own home. I guarantee it. So there's also an outdoor pool table, which I think is a bit wacky, and that's the same view from before but better. There's the same view from before but better. This is my apartment, and I have loved it so much. But as you're watching this video, it means that I have moved out. Oh, that's sad. And the biggest reason I moved out is to kind of move back to money. So the best place to do this. Let's talk about the financials of this, shall we? Because this is the weirdest thing. I rent from a corporation, which I think is very normal in some parts of the world, but in the UK it is not. I think people are very weirded out when they learn out their landlord is a developer or something like that. But in this case, my landlord is one of the biggest real estate companies in the world. Very, very strange thing. But it means that lots of their systems are automated in weird ways I can't understand. So the rent that it costs to live here varies depending on the lease length you get. If I wanted a longer lease, 13 months I think would cost more than 12 months, which costs less than 11, which costs more than 10. Basically, the number of months you live here varies everything, but the cheapest per month that I had available when I got the place. Also, just look at this, it's amazing. But yeah, I've got to go. There's someone around here, and I probably shouldn't be talking loudly about the finances of it when I'm here. So let's get back to my apartment. There's a bunch of free teas and a coffee machine, which, that's fun. I don't drink coffee, but it's nice to know I always could. Also chocolate drinks, apparently. Nice. There's also some barbecues. I love this idea of communal barbecue area. I can be honest with you, I've used them twice in my life. I just think it's such a neat idea. There's also a beer tap that you can put your own keg in, which I don't know if that's necessarily useful. I also think it's a bit weird that you're surrounded by apartments as you do this, so you'd have to be very comfortable being watched, like you'd also have to be if you were going to play giant chess. There's also chairs that say more, and honestly, it's a cool space to hang out in, especially when it's April, as I recorded this, very early April, and you can see the sun. It's just so bright all the time here, which I know is a lot of people's dream, and so play some chess in the sun. Or, actually, if there's sun somewhere, you know what you might like more than chess? Oh yeah, there's a 24-hour pool here. Honestly, the fact that they say 24 hours is a little bit confusing to me. Are there people going for a swim at 3 a.m? Apparently so. But yeah, it's pretty cool to have a pool in a place that's so hot. And honestly, it's just one of those fun flex things, right? Like, I've used it 3 times, but being able to... Also, wait, these chairs are new. This is where I want to be in the pool. Anyway, yeah, it's a very cool thing to have, and it makes relaxing a little bit easier, I think. But yeah, speaking of relax, I think it's important that we finally address why I'm actually here in a very different place to where my accent comes from. Because that's what you need to ask people, right? Like, oh, you weren't spawned into the world here, but yet you live here anyway. And also something about finance, didn't you say it was a lot of money? So let's explain both those things. I had to put my tea down, it's so hot, it's burning my hands. Let's explain both those things right now, right here. So first things first, the reason that I came to Las Vegas is because I needed to live in America for a little bit. And if you're picking, one of the beauties, if you're picking a country as big as the US, is it's so broad and vast, and there's so many different governments and different rules. I liked Las Vegas of all the places I visited the most, and I figured it'd be such a cool place to spend 2 years, and I still do think that. If I had the ability to just live here without any of the legal complications, I might just take that up. I might spend half the year here. I love it here a lot. Besides the summer, it's lovely in Las Vegas. But the other part of this is like, so what's the deal with you owning a place there? And the simple answer to that is like something. You know how relationships go. But the long story short is the lease is up soon, because it was a 10-month lease. I did mention how the price varied depending on how long the lease you got, but how much do you actually pay to live here? So not only do you pay this really weirdly variable price based on how long you want to live here. Again, you'd assume the longer you live, the cheaper it'd be, but that's not the case. But yeah, it's $15.90 right now, apparently, is the rent for the place. But there's something really weird about, again, this is Las Vegas, I guess, it makes some sense. But there's something very strange about this one overall, and it is simply that the $15.90 is not the rent. You actually have to pay, so there's a fair few fees in there that make sense. Like, you pay $75 for water, I think. You pay $105 for TV and / computer. You have to pay for that. Cable is built into the rent. That does include your internet as well, admittedly, but it's also like, well, $105, what package are you getting that allows that? So it's a little bit of they must be getting some bulk deal, or maybe they're just pocketing some money on that. I don't know what the deal is, but you pay $105, you have to, for the internet to live here. It's Cox, if you know that. Wow, that does describe that company quite well, huh? They sure are Cox. Anyway, so as well as, like having to pay for water and having to pay for having to pay for that. You also then pay something called a gas vac recovery charge. I don't even question it because it's only $15. You also have to pay a membership fee. This used to be called a resort fee. I think it's funny they changed the name to membership fee. Probably some legal debate about whether you can charge resort fees in apartments. But this is just, oh yeah, your rent costs $50 more, but we want to have a lower number. It's that thing of just, yeah, sometimes we like to have lower numbers and deal with it that way. And then on top of that, you also pay for, I think the fairest one of all of them, is you have to pay for electricity, and that costs something like $40 a month. It's hilarious to me. I have AC on almost all the time here, and my electricity bill is about $45. In the UK, I don't even live there for like a third of the time, but my electricity bill is about £500-600 a month, so $800, I want to say, maybe. It's insane. It's 20 times the price. It's a slightly bigger place, admittedly, but it's like, where does that electricity go? And the answer is the angry former Soviet Russian woman that yells at me and complains how old she is and washes her clothes 3 times a day. It's an interesting situation. I'll have to update you on the logic situation. If you want to know what's going wrong in my life, that's a fun thing I'd like to update you on at some point. My, oh yeah, I'm not going to rent out rooms in my house anymore situation. I want to share that after it's all done and dusted. But for now, I think it's worth mentioning, yeah, this place does cost a lot of money. I chose to live here because Las Vegas is somewhat expensive, but $1,800 all in for everything is not actually the worst thing. It's about £1,400-1,500, and to live in, again, what is literally paradise. That's not a joke. The name of the area is Paradise. I think it's pretty good. I think to have all of this stuff included, to pay $50 something a day and live in a very nice place, it's fun. And again, I would totally do this. This would be my main residence if that was easy. I would love to buy a place here, but there's a lot of legal complications about that maybe we could share in another video. But if you want to know some geographic facts, because you came to a second channel video, you're going to get some second channel information. Then this is the 26th biggest metropolitan area in the United States. Bet you didn't know that. And also the temperatures get here to 46 degrees in the summer. I think the highest has been like 48, 49. And you just burn when you go outside, but it's super low humidity, which means that there's some really weird things of that. There's so many weird facts about Vegas and what makes it such an intriguing place to live. And honestly, just as I walk around, I always feel like I'm in some mythical place, because even the United States in my head doesn't look like this. This is some weird, separate place where they just happen to use the American dollar, have American accents, and apparently not mind British people too much. Oh, also, gambling is, a lot of people think gambling's only legal here. It's actually the most regulated here of any of the states. They were the first state to legalize it, and but there's a few things that also, I think prostitution's another one. Even though this is a very lax state, it's very libertarian in lots of ways, they are very strict on. You cannot solicit for prostitution in Clark County, at least. You cannot gamble unless there's loads of strict rules to gamble, which makes this one of the best places to gamble if you want like a fair game. But gambling is not very smart. Prostitution's probably not very smart, and you know what else isn't very smart? Paying $1,800 a month for an apartment in a country you're legally not allowed to live in. Which is why, as you watch this video, I no longer own this place. Which is why I don't mind sharing with you the logo of it, apparently. A nice place. Would recommend. Come visit. Come. There's a vacancy as you watch this video. Maybe you should apply. Fill the space. You get free tea. What can't you love about that? Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye. Wait, no, second channel, don't care. You're all sluts. Hope you die in a fire. Bye. Trying to up my ante on the outro here.